And welcome everyone to episode 10, I think it's 10, the 5-Star Match Game. I'm your humble host, Mr. Joe Gagney, and the man who drove the Hummer in WCW. It's very true. If you remember a prior episode we did where we discussed WCW in the early 1990s, the first half of the decade. Well, today we're going to finish the job. We're going to cover the back half of the 90s, the Nitro Years. So September 1995 all the way up to the bitter end. And what a slew of contestants we have today. I'm so excited. Up first, he is the co-host of the Days of Thunder podcast, which covers WCW Thunder, so you know he has paid his dues. It's Lee Malone. Lee, how you doing?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. So how's the Thunder podcast going?
It's going it's going to keep going, but it's going okay so far. We're only, I think it's 4 months in now. Just finished Spring Stampede, so yeah, it's not been too bad so far.
Oh, well, you hang in there.
There's worse to come. I know that for sure.
All right, and up next, I put out a call. This was a bit of a scheduling nightmare to get people together and all that. I just put up a call on Twitter, said, hey, who wants to be on? This man answered the call, and his Twitter bio says he is an SCI Jeopardy champion. Is this true? It's Steve. Steve, how's it going?
Yes, that is true. I'm doing well. I'm the 2019 SCI Wrestling Jeopardy winner, along with my teammates. It was a trios competition. I'm also the co-host of Songs with Friends on the Place to Be Nation pop feed.
Super. All right. Well, thank you for stepping up. And last, certainly not least, we have an actual pro wrestler here. And yeah, he's won the SCI this year. He's traveling the world. He is a wrestling genius, but you know, that's all good. But we're playing some big prizes today. It's Daniel Makabe. Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a huge fan of this show, and so I was pretty excited that you asked me to be on this. So I don't know how well I'm going to do at it. Two fun facts about WCW in the Nitro era. Nitro didn't air in Canada until late 1997. And there were only 2 Nitros that were ever filmed in Canada, one in Toronto, Ontario, and one in Kelowna, British Columbia, and I was at the latter. So,
all right. All right, so sounds good. If everyone's ready, we're going to dive into the first round. We have 5 rounds of super exciting trivia here. A lot of fun games. I'm excited. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
All right. Our first game is called Making Towns. For this game, I'm going to give you the name of a match or event in WCW history. You tell me the city it took place in. So if I said the Doomsday Cage, you would hopefully respond Tupelo. Now, I don't need the building, don't need the state, just the city. Everyone's going to get 5 questions. Correct answers are worth 1 point apiece. Lee, you are up first. Are you ready?
Ready to go, yep.
All right, your first event is the Hog/Road Wild events.
Sturgis.
Sturgis, South Dakota is correct. All right, Steve, the first Nitro.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, Minnesota is correct. All right, Dan, a little post WCW, but the Booker T. Buff Bagwell match on Raw.
Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, Tacoma, Washington. Close to home indeed. That is correct. All right, Lee, back to you. The Sting Hogan match at Starrcade 97.
That was Washington, D.C.
Oh, correct. All right, Steve, your next event, the Final Nitro.
The final Nitro was in Panama City Beach, Florida.
Oh, correct. I had the state. All right, Dan, your next event. Goldberg wins the WCW title.
Atlanta?
Atlanta, Georgia at the Dome is correct. Oh, perfect so far. Lee, Luger beats Hogan for the title on Nitro.
Oh, I'm going to have to guess on this one. Dayton.
Oh, it's Auburn Hills, Michigan. All right, Steve. Hogan shows up as the third man.
Daytona Beach.
Oh, correct. Dan, the Hogan Giant Monster Truck War.
Detroit.
Detroit, Michigan. The Cobo Hall is correct. All right, Lee, back to you. The first Sold Out.
I'm stuck again.
It's a tough one for a man not from this country, I have to say.
Louisiana.
Oh, it's Cedar Rapids. Louisiana is a state, in fact. So. All right, Steve. Scott Hall shows up on Nitro.
Macon.
Oh, Macon, Georgia is correct. All right, Dan. The New World Order built a set on Nitro in an interminable segment.
Was that also in Macon?
Oh, that was also Macon. Oh, I couldn't trip you up. All right, Lee, your final question. The Bischoff-Russo WCW reboot.
Oh, I know this. I've watched this episode so many times. It's. I'm gonna say Jacksonville.
Oh, it was Denver.
Denver. Yeah.
Denver. All right, and Steve, your final question. The Benoit Sullivan Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh, that was. I'm not gonna pretend to know. Dayton.
Oh, it was Baltimore.
Ah.
All right, Dan, your final question. The Finger Poke of Doom.
Oh, that was in a dome. Was it also Atlanta?
That was also Atlanta. That is correct. Perfect run by Dan. So, at the end of round 1, we have Dan and Lee with 5, Steve with 4, and Lee with 2, but plenty of game left to play. All right, we're going to move on to a game I call World War IV. World War III was a WCW event from 1995 to 1999 that was spotlighted by a 3-ring 60-man battle royal. The 60 competitors, there were many a wrestler who took part. For this game, I will give you a name. You tell me if they ever competed in the match. So if I said Randy Savage, you would hopefully respond yes. Don't need the year, don't need to know how many they were in, just if they ever were. So we got a lot. Everyone gets 8 names. Correct answers are worth 1 point apiece. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, we're going to start with you. Your first name is Wayne Bloom.
Yes.
No, Wayne Bloom never was.
Ah. All right.
All right, Dan, your first name is Black Bart.
No.
No, he was in fact 1995. All right, Lee, your first name is Jerry Flynn.
Yes, had to have been.
No, he wasn't in fact. He came a little bit later. Wow. A much better start this time around. All right, Steve, back to you. Your name is Yuji Nagata.
Yes.
Yes, he was in 1997. All right, Dan, your name is Jushin Liger.
No.
No, he was not. That's correct. All right, Lee, your name, Manabu Nakanishi. Or Kurosawa, as he was known.
Yes.
Yes, he was. 95. He made it in. All right. Steve, back to you. Your next name is Bobby Blaze.
Yes.
Yes, he was twice. 97 and 98. All right, Dan, your name is Mark Starr.
Yes.
Yes, he was. 1996. We're picking it up. All right, Lee, your next name is Barry Houston.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, that's
no.
very famous. Oh, beloved jobber in WCW.
I'm going to say no.
No is correct. He was not in that, no. All right, Steve, you get Davey Boy Smith.
No.
No is correct. He never was. All right, Dan, you get the Roadblock.
Yes.
Yes, he was. 1996. All right, Lee, you get Joey Maggs. Jumpin' Joey Maggs.
Yes.
Yes, he was. 1995. All right. Steve, your next name is Dave or Evad Sullivan.
Yes.
Yes, he was. 1995. Dan, you get Hardbody Harrison.
Oh. No.
No is correct. All right. And Lee, you get Chip Minton, famed bobsledder.
No.
No is also correct. Oof. All right, Steve, Scott Putski.
No.
He was, in fact, 1998. All right, Dan, you get Jim Powers.
Yes.
Yes, he was, 1996. All right, Lee, we have Rick Martel.
No.
No, he never was. That's correct. All right, Steve, you get Tough Tom.
Yes.
No, Tough Tom did not make it in. World War III. All right, Dan, Evan Courageous.
No.
No is correct. He never did. Came around a bit too late. Lee, you get Tony Rumble.
Yes.
Tony Rumble was, in fact, in the 1996 World War III. All right, the final set. Steve, Marty Jannetty.
Yes.
He was not, in fact. All right, Dan, you get Nick Dinsmore.
No.
No is correct. And Lee, your final name is Paul Orndorff.
No.
Oh, he was 1995. And all right, so that round we had Dan with 9 correct. All right, we have Dan in the lead with 14. We have Steve right behind him with 9. Lee with 8. So, but still, always plenty of game left to play. It's time for round 3, my favorite round. We call it List 'em and Learn. All right, for this round, I'm going to give you a category. Say, everyone who ever did commentary on Nitro. We'll say there were 20 people. Player 1's going to give the number they can name off the top of the head. We'll say 10. He'll switch to player 2, who either can say they can name more or challenge player 1 to start naming. If they say they can name more, it switches back to player 1, who then says they can name more or challenge. And it goes back and forth until someone is challenged and has to start naming names. Now, if you say you can name more, you don't have to increase by 1. You can just say you can name them all if you want. If you are challenged, you can name every name. You earn 2 points. If you get any wrong, you get nothing, and your opponent earns 2 points. Everyone gets 2 questions with a chance to go first and a chance to challenge. All right, are we ready? All right, Dan and Lee, you're up first. All right, from its creation in 1996 to the company's closing in 2001, 25 individuals held the WCW Cruiserweight title. Dan, how many can you name?
15.
Oh, 15. That's big. Lee, do you want to increase or challenge?
I'll say 16.
16. All right, Dan. Back to you.
18.
Whoa, 18. All right.
I think I can name 20.
20. Ooh. All right.
I'll challenge.
All right, Lee, can you name 20 individuals?
Okay. Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko is 1.
Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio makes 2.
Chris Jericho.
Jericho is 3.
Prince Ikea.
Prince Ikea, weirdly enough, is 4.
Juventud Guerrera.
Juventud is correct, gives you 5.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero is 6.
Oklahoma.
Oh, you've got that one. That's 7. Ugh.
Medusa.
Medusa gives you 8.
Evan Courageous.
Evan Courageous is 9.
Sugar Shane Helms.
Shane Helms gives you 10.
Chavo Guerrero.
Chavo Guerrero / Lieutenant Loco is 11.
Lance Storm.
Lance Storm is 12.
God, now I'm reaching. Think. Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon is 13.
Oh, God. Need to think. Mine's gone blank. God. Malenko. 6.
6 gives you 14.
Psychosis.
Psychosis is 15.
I'm gonna have to quit.
No, anything else?
I could have thought if I had a bit more time, but I'll call it at that.
All right. Give 2 points to Dan there. Names you missed included Alex Wright, Billy Kidman, Chris Candido, Crowbar Daphne, Disco Inferno, Elix Skipper, Lenny Lane, Mike Sanders, above average, and the first one. Everyone remember the first one?
Shinjiro Otani.
That's correct. All right, 2 points to Dan there. Up next, we will have Lee and Steve. All right. WCW ran 5 War Games matches during the Nitro years, 4 on Fall Brawl, 1 on Nitro. 31 men took part in these events. Lee, how many can you name?
15.
15, okay. Steve, what about you?
20.
20, whoa. All right, back to Lee.
22.
22.
23.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll challenge.
All right. Steve, let's hear 23 names who participated in War Games matches.
This is from Nitro Years exclusively,
Yep,
correct?
Nitro Years exclusively. Yep. So
all right.
95 on.
All right, Hulk Hogan.
The Hulkster is correct.
Sting.
Stinger.
Lex Luger.
Luger is correct.
Randy Savage.
Which gives you 4.
Zodiac.
Zodiac gives you 5.
Shark.
He's not a fish. He's a man, but he was also in War Games. That's correct.
Kamala.
Kamala is correct.
Ming.
The Monster Meng gives you 8.
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall gives you 9.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash gives you 10.
Not Sting.
The fake Sting is correct. NWO Sting gives you 11.
All right. That takes us to Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson gives you 12.
Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair is 13.
6.
6 gives you 14.
Conan.
Conan is correct for 15.
Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell, but we will accept that.
All right.
For 16.
Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig gives you 17.
Chris Benoit.
18.
All right. Hennig, Benoit, Flair.
5 more names.
All right. Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray is correct.
Bret Hart.
That gets you to 20.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Gets you to 21.
All right. Oh, so it's 98. Stevie Ray, Bret Hart. The Warrior.
Warrior is correct. That gives you 22. You need one more.
All right. Oh, Booker T.
Booker T gives you 23. Well done. Names you did not say were Brian Adams and Brian Clark, Goldberg, Jeff Jarrett, Roddy Piper, Scott Steiner, Steve McMichael, and Vince Russo, of course. But that is 2 points to Steve. All right, our final game between Dan and Steve. During the Nitro years, 26 men held the U.S. title. I believe Steve has gone first. Yes, Steve, how many can you name?
15.
15. All right, Dan.
How many total did you say there were?
26.
Yeah, I'm not even going to pretend to be able to do this one. I'm going to challenge.
Oh, 15. Okay.
All right. Is this going from the date of the first Nitro?
Yes, date of the first Nitro.
All right. Sting.
Stinger gives you 1.
Kensuke Sasaki.
Weirdly enough, 2 is correct.
One Man Gang.
G gives you 3.
Conan.
And it's 4.
Ric Flair.
Ooh, that's 5.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero gives you 6.
Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko gives you 7.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett is 8.
Steve McMichael.
Steve McMichael gives you 9.
Kurt Hennig.
Hennig gets you to 10.
Dallas Page.
Dallas Page is 11.
All right. Let's see. DTP to say Scott Hall.
Scott Hall is 12.
Raven.
Raven gives you 13.
Goldberg.
Goldberg, of course, 14. We need one more.
Bret Hart.
Oh, Bret Hart gets you to 15. Well done. All right. The names you did not happen to say, probably could have gotten to them, were Booker T, Chris Benoit, David Flair, General Erection, Lance Storm, Lex Luger, Rick Steiner, Roddy Piper, Scott Steiner, Shane Douglas, and Terry Funk. All right. So let's see. Steve comes away with 4 points that round. Dan with 2. So an updated scoring. We have Lee at 8, Steve at 13, Dan at 14. So we have a tight one here with 2 rounds to play. So let's jump ahead to round 4, the multiple partners game. Many men won the WCW tag title, many with multiple partners. For this game, I'll give you 2 names. You tell me the man who held the WCW tag titles with each of them. So if I said Larry Zbyszko and Paul Roma, you'd hopefully respond Arn Anderson. Now that predates Nitro, but I needed I ran out of questions here. So everyone gets 3 questions. Correct answers are worth 1 point apiece. Are we ready?
Yep.
All right, Dan, your 2 names are Scott Hall and Diamond Dallas Page.
The Giant?
Oh, it's Kevin Nash, actually. All right, Lee, your 2 names are Kendall Windham and Kurt Hennig.
Barry Windham.
Is correct. All right, Steve, your 2 names are Sting and Buff Bagwell.
The Giant.
Oh, I had Lex Luger, actually. All right, Dan, back to you. Your 2 names are Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko.
Chris Benoit?
Is correct. All right, Lee, your 2 names are Scott Steiner and Kenny Chaos.
Rick Steiner.
Is correct. All right, Steve, your 2 names are Scott Hall and Lex Luger.
Kevin Nash.
Oh, a Giant, actually.
Ah,
All right. Dan, your last two names are Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh, Juventud?
No, Conan, actually.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Lee, you get Sean Stasiak and Sean O'Hare.
Chuck Palumbo.
Is correct. Perfect round for Lee. Steve, your last two names are Bam Bam Bigelow and Canyon.
Dallas Page.
That's correct. That was a bit of a cheat, but I ran out of examples. So, all right, at the end of that round, Lee with a perfect 3 points. Steve and Dan each with 1. That brings us to Dan in the lead with 15, Steve with 14, and Lee with 11. So, a tight one headed into our final round, the sprint. For this round, I'm going to ask each of you 10 fill-in-the-blank questions in a row. If I asked Scott Hall and Kevin Nash teamed up as blank, you'd hopefully respond the outsiders. So everyone's going to get 10 questions in a row, and we'll see who wins at the end. Let's see. Lee, you are in third place right now. You go first. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. WCW's final pay-per-view was titled blank.
Sin.
Oh, Greed. Blank when Juventud Guerrero's mask in 1998.
Chris Jericho.
Correct. Blank had a brief run in the fall of 1995 with the Sheik as his manager.
Sabu.
Correct. Giant Haystacks had a brief run in 1996 under the name Blank.
Loch Ness.
Correct. Rey Mysterio's outfit was based on Blank during his Halloween Havoc 1997 match with Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, it's the Phantom. Dean Malenko dressed up as Blank during the Cruiserweight Battle Royal.
Cyclope.
Correct. Chris Kanyon and Mark Starr competed under the tag team name of Blank.
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, it was Men at Work. All right. Wrath and Mortis were managed by Blank.
James Vandenberg.
Correct. Jim Duggan started blanking his fists to win matches in 1996.
Taping.
Correct. And Blank was one of the names 911 used in WCW.
Big Al.
Big Al is correct. We would have also accepted Tombstone or Sledgehammer Al. All right, you had 7 out of 10. Very nicely done in that round. That gives you a final score of 18. You are in the lead right now. All right, as we head to Steve. Steve, are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
All right. Starrcade 95 featured a best-of-7 series between WCW and Blank.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Correct. WCW's album, released in 1999, was called Blank.
Slam Jam Volume 1.
Oh, it's Mayhem. Slam Jam was 92.
Yes.
The first Cruiserweight Tag Champs were Blank.
Kid Romeo and Elix Skipper.
Oh, correct. Blank won the Lethal Lottery, Lord of the Ring, at Slamboree 1996.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Correct. The Yeti was played by Blank.
Ron Reese.
Correct. During their feud in 1999, Kevin Nash dumped Blank on Randy Savage in a limo.
Poop.
It was raw sewage. We'll accept poop. We will accept poop. Goldberg briefly had a theme called Crush 'Em, performed by Blank.
Megadeth.
Correct. Dennis Rodman wrestled Blank in his only singles match in WCW.
Randy Savage.
Correct. AJ Styles and Air Paris teamed together as Blank.
The what population? I don't know.
Air Raid. And finally, Buddy Lee Parker had a brief run in the Dungeon of Doom as the Blank.
The Leprechaun.
Ron the Leprechaun is correct. That gives you 8 correct answers and a final score of 22. You are in the lead. All right, Dan, comes down to this. You will need 8 correct answers to win, 7 to tie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Diamond Dallas Page once surprised Randy Savage by dressing up as Blank during a match on Nitro.
Sting?
Oh, it's La Parka.
Mm.
Mike Sanders had the nickname of Blank.
Above average?
Correct. Chavo Guerrero's hobby horse was named Blank.
Pepe?
Pepe is correct. The Kiss Demon was portrayed the longest by Blank.
Dale Torborg?
Correct. The stable featuring Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Saturn was called Blank.
Revolution?
Correct. All right, Chris Jericho accused Lenny Lane of stealing his Blank tapes.
Pass.
That was Loverboy. Let's see. Before he was Sting, Jeff Farmer had a run in 1995 and 1996 as blank.
Cobra.
Cobra is correct. All right. Dick Slater and Mike Enos competed under the name of blank.
I have no idea.
Oh, it was Rough and Ready. And Life magazine described the power plant as the blank of pro wrestling.
Harvard.
Oh, the Harvard of professional wrestling. Lenny and Lodi first teamed up under the name of blank.
The West Hollywood Blondes?
Oh, that's correct. And that gives you... Oh, we have a tie at 22 points apiece. Oh, I get to pull out the tiebreaker. I'm so excited. Steve and Dan, are you ready for the tiebreaker question? How this works is I'm going to give you a category, and you're going to send me a guess the number of... Like I said, who did... how many people did commentary on Nitro? You'd have to guess the number. You'd say like 15 or 20 or whatever it would be. And the closest, whoever comes closest, then we'll see if you go over, it's fine, will be the champion of the 5-star match game. So I don't know if you want to shoot me a DM on Twitter with your guess, but are you ready for your final question?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
All right. We talked about World War III, the 60-man battle royal that occurred, I believe, 4 different times. How many individual wrestlers competed in World War III? So if you add up everyone, subtract all the duplicates, how many total wrestlers can say they appeared in a World War III match? Now, if you want to just shoot me a DM or a message on Skype. So for our final guesses of the total number of individuals who competed in World War III, we have Steve at 95. We have Dan at 185. All right, the correct answer of individuals who competed in World War III is 131. Steve, you came the closest at 95. You are the winner of today's 5-star match game.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir.
Oh, no problem. This was a great game. I thank you all. If anyone has anything they want to plug, feel free. Right now, Steve, you won. We'll start with you.
All right, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at NotDrDeath because my shoot last name, as the kids say, is Steve Williams. Follow the Place to Be Nation pop feed for a full archive of my show, Songs with Friends. We go over song lyrics. We talk about the ridiculous nature and kind of fill in some backstories. I think we're about 32 episodes into that. So yeah, subscribe to the Place to Be Nation pop feed to check that out. Otherwise, follow Dan. Look Dan's schedule up. He's been a beast on the independent scene, and I give him 100% my full endorsement, and he was a fantastic rival here today, as was Lee. If you would have told me beforehand that I was up against a wrestling genius and a gentleman who hosts a critically acclaimed Thunder podcast, I would say this is like Mark Starr pinning Dallas Page circa 1998 on Nitro. So I'll take it.
All right. Dan, what's up? I'm sure you're just out there wrestling.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Daniel Makabe. Depending on when this airs, you may or may not be seeing me wrestle in Germany and England this coming weekend. Otherwise, you can find me typically around the northwest of Canada and the United States, and hopefully abroad in 2020 and beyond. So, and thanks again for the opportunity. This was a lot of fun.
All right. And Lee, you have your Days of Thunder podcast. Let's hear about it.
I do. I'd just like to say I will be seeing Dan in Germany next week, so I'll be one of the lucky ones. Days of Thunder on the PWO Podcast Network. It's at WCW Thunder Pod on Twitter. If you're a WCW fan, and I'm assuming you are if you're listening to this, give us a follow, give us a listen. Let us know what you think. And my own Twitter, at Malone_713.
All right. And I will say... thank you all for listening to the 5-Star Match Game. We are a proud member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Our logo was designed by Rich Craich. You can follow the show on Twitter at 5-Star Match Game with the number 5, or email us at Gmail at 5-Star Match Game, 5 spelled out, at gmail.com. And we will be back at some point. I don't know. These shows come up when they do. I want to thank you all for listening. I know we moved over to, I believe, was it Red Band?
Red Circle.
The Red Circle, thank you. Yeah, I'm really on top of things here. When we get this set up, there is a donate button if you want to hit that. And so I can, get Chinese takeout or something. I would appreciate that. And if not, I just thank you all for listening. And that's going to wrap it up. Thanks to all our contestants. Thanks to WCW for existing. Thanks to you for listening. We'll be back next time. Good night. Goodbye.